disagree with it because I think the mechanical skill of so many of these AD carries is actually very high, but I also wonder if it's a reflection of the power level of the champions in the role.
That's true too.
Which could just be like, Jinx and Aphelios have been very strong. They're champions who, if they get ahead, can have a chance of 1v9ing a game, and then everyone has had that kind of hard carry moment at some point in the split, which leaves a very positive memory of the role. But yeah, I haven't thought about that much.
Yeah. I will say, though, I think getting that final 10%, we heard Tactical talk about it, right? Like, I want to be the good Malphite. I like playing on the edge. I like playing in the front and getting it done. And that last 10% is tough to achieve. And unless you see players do that last 10%, I think Danny's a good example. Someone who, like, plays to the edge, but it works so often, right? Those pop-offs were, like, a no-kill to the triple kill. That's that last 10%. That's hard to reach, but it's hard to know it was there. Right? Identifying that, oh, you could have flashed forward on Aphelios for triple kill. Like, imagine making that call, right? That's so tough to tell someone they have to do that in the middle of the game. But that's how I think you distinguish yourself. And everyone else is like, oh, they're just all quite good. So anyway, on the draft itself, Tahm Kench still picked up. Here's Xin Zhao in there as well. Senna is an option. I believe we've seen Tactical play it before. Does have one, although he played it as Farm Senna, if I recall correctly. But still a very good option, I think, Senna Tahm Kench.
I think the Aphelios is probably more likely to come in after the first phase is done, and this is very generic first three for both teams. Jinx first pick, almost everyone values Jinx above Aphelios. If we had the Varus, that would be different. It's definitely heavier poke and can outrange Jinx in mid game. It's something I know Tactical does like, but the fact that it's just a hover makes me skeptical that it's not just going to be an Aphelios.
Well, time ticks down. I'm curious if they... I mean, we have seen Tahm Kench be the option when you're playing poke-heavy teams. And the thing is, Corki is a very likely ban at this point in time. So if you're playing for a poke team, it's actually positioned in a spot where you can get rid of the synergistic options.
And Varus Kench is also like a very lane-dominant lane for Tactical and Shenyi to try and make something happen early. So definitely don't hate it. We'll see if they can make something happen early in bot.
Unsurprisingly, Tahm Kench generally favored into engage champions, right? Looks good in the champs like Nautilus and whatnot. Oh, you hit the engage, that's fine, right? Gobble up, cool. We counter after your entire kit. I'm still here as a Tahm Kench. Of course, Nautilus locked in anyway. They just want to start teamfights out of the bot lane. Golden Guardians, we heard from Anero. He was on the analyst desk yesterday saying that even though it didn't work out, they had a pretty rough game against, I think it was Cloud9.
Yep.
He was happy the Licorice was going for the fights and, played those ones because, yeah, it's Summit, but we want you to play as though you can win these matchups, and the option of playing through you should be there. Don't just take the L because the name. Didn't work out, but still happy about the team and what they're working on. Of course, this is now a much easier opponent. Golden Guardians right now alone in 5th, and Cloud9 is already out of the way in the second round robin. They win here, they're tied for 4th with 100 Thieves. 7 games to go until playoffs. Golden Guardians to me right now are my nod for one of the playoff teams to make it. TSM, of course, still trying to figure out a way to put out the fire. I've talked with a couple of LCS coaches about it, and one of the opinions that I've heard repeated is the thought that, yeah, I feel like TSM players are checked out. Like the outside opinion is that it's already doomed no matter what they do. Like the players don't believe anymore. I don't know if that's true, right? But just adding to the conversation, that's one of the things I've heard.
Interesting. That's a tough opinion to have from the outside.
Yeah.
So personally, I'm not going to take a huge stake into that one.
Corki grab, actually interesting. So not really vying towards a poke team. They're going to go ahead and blind the top lane pick instead. They're going to give Takeover counter pick. Corki is shown. Victor is up as a pretty obvious answer back if you want to go for it. And it also means Licorice gets counter pick up against Huni.
It definitely does. Interesting that they're actually giving Takeover the counter pick instead of having a top lane counter pick. I thought just based off the top lane bans, Aurelia being down, Tryndamere being down, Jace being down, I was kind of expecting Huni to just blind the Gnar, and then they'd get the mid lane pick on 5, but going Graves into Gnar is, we've seen a lot of dominant Graves just being able to farm up the whole map, and that's kind of what they're going for. And Takeover going with a more aggressive pick. He's going to have to make something happen against Corki.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking up the matchup. I'm curious which way it goes, because I haven't seen that one a ton. Because we just don't see a ton of Sylas and Pro. He was a good answer to TF. Yeah. You'd win the early lane. You could match the ultis. Solomid puts it as a very, very flat lane. They're just both kind of chilling. Corki, in general, of course, scales really hard. So we expect Sylas to have a good laning phase, but you also expect a 4-item Corki to feel great. Hexdrinker likely to be in the build to just make sure he doesn't get all in. And we'll see where it goes.
Yep, looking at this draft, I see Golden Guardians looking for a lot of scaling, and TSM's going to want to make something happen early down bot with Varus and TK.
Oh, no! That was not even fair.
What if respawning was refreshing? Here's to the round between rounds.
This game is rigged. This game is out to get me.
Welcome back to the last game of the week, week 5 of the LCS. 10th year running, and Golden Guardians upper hand against TSM so far this season, right now in 5th place. TSM for the first time in last after so many weeks, hoping to find their footing. It's their second time making a roster swap. They switched supports, they switched mids, with the supports coming on back in, hoping to find a version that works for them. Huni on the Graves, and I think Tactical has been, to me, the brightest point on this team, making a interesting choice and going for the Varus, leaving up some of the more common picks on the table.
Yeah, the one win they had against Immortals, he did 70% of the team's damage, which was an LCS record for an individual game, but it's just been that one. I actually think, if we think of the 10 years of TSM history, we haven't seen them miss playoffs. They're already at 9 losses. Usually 10 losses misses playoffs.
Right.
A loss here might actually confirm their worst split in their history. So if they're going to run the table, now's the time to start.
I remember them getting 6th once.
They
in
did
a battle where they
9-9.
Yeah, and that's the lowest I can remember, because I can never remember them being lower than 6th coming into playoffs. And they actually still made finals that split, by the way. Like, this was the run where TSM just never missed the road by the end. They always found a way to make it happen. That has been a really surprising one. And you mentioned the 10 years of TSM and LCS. Of course, they even predate that. They went to, I'm 99% sure they went to World Season 1, yeah. And then 2012 as well, they were actually the top NA qualifier in that one. So, I mean, they had been an absolute top dog just absolutely forever. Yeah. This is obviously a big surprise for a lot of their fans. One of my friends is a really big TSM fan. He's like, every week he's like, this is the one. This is the one. I believe this is the time. And then, you know, they lose. They have like a rough week. And he's like, nah, it's fine. I knew that was going to happen. But next week, though, is our time. And I'm happy that like the fans still holding out hope in a lot of cases. Obviously, some are quite upset with the record so far. But everyone who does hold out hope for the fans, I appreciate you for keeping it up for your team.
Hope springs eternal.
Yeah.
I want to see this bot lane, how much Tactical and Shenyi can make things happen. Hail of Blades Varus, so very good early game at the quick all-ins if Shenyi's able to land a Q. They won't get level 2 first, though, so they're going to have to wait for the wave to bounce back before they try anything sneaky.
Yep. And then it becomes basically how well can Golden Guardians manicure it. They get a nice hook into a root, and that's going to be a better trade overall. Shenyi can't do anything much for that one, so backs up a little bit late. It doesn't matter a ton, but it does burn him 1 potion for that misstep. Golden Guardians get the wave to sit right in front of the turret. A quick trinket ward. Usually you don't get ganked by 230, so they're going to be safe enough in that one. And now a quick game pause.
Interesting pause. I was just going to check the cooldown left on Aftershock. It does look like Olleh's Aftershock will be back by the time Tahm Kench would try and make any aggressive play. I was thinking maybe he wanted to burn the Aftershock or something, but it doesn't look like they will have any type of window. And we'll get news on the pause as soon as we can.
And in the meantime, yeah, we can check in on what the matchups are once we get the unpause going. It is always nice. I forget if you can hit tab during a pause, because it's been so long since I've played on Tournament Realm. I don't remember. Or you're just lucky that the game paused while you had the scoreboard up, and it was like, oh, great. Now I can just, like, you know, memorize everything that everyone built.
Interesting. I think you can.
I know you can't. I'm pretty sure you can't move the map around.
Right.
You can't scroll over and, you know, see where your wards are and whatnot. But
all right, they're readying up.
Issue.
There's a small mouse issue, but I'm seeing people type R in chat, so
yeah.
I think we're going to be getting back momentarily.
Are you a fan of lowercase or capital R for ready?
I'm a lowercase r.
I do too, but only because it's just there.
It's just faster.
You know what's actually weird, though? Typing in alt chat requires you to hit Shift-Enter. So just holding on a Shift for longer, arguably faster, actually, right? Shift-Enter R, let go. Instead of Shift-Enter, let go of Shift R.
You just press Enter R, Enter.
No, because you want to type in alt chat.
I guess.
Right? Chat isn't defaulted to all,
yeah.
right? Unless I'm trolling.
Sure.
So technically, you just, you know, keep the button held down.
So
for a
it's
while.
the same?
Maybe.
Yeah. But I type R a lot in lobby chat.
Ah, yeah.
Which is just Enter R, Enter.
Oh, yeah. Or even just like R Enter, because it's already like on the box, depending. whatever.
It's a good min-max conversation.
It is. It's really important, you know. We're learning how to dance. We're learning how to type R in all chat or lobby chat. You know, who knows? TSM's lane pushing back down now, and Spica have no problem getting the bottom scuttle. Well done there. We're pretty much right at 315. Very small goal to TSM. Pridestalker actually going fully for a full clear on this Lee Sin. Is a full clear heavy kind of player. Finishes the whole thing by about 320. Good fight in the mid lane, forcing AblazeOlive to flash. Great stun. Landed by Takeover to set that one up.
I mean, yesterday... Oh, we got to fight.
It's a good chompers in. A flash away, but Shenyi, could he still be the target? Nah, you're not going to land Sonic Wave. Out they go.
I just think this is super interesting with TSM having lost so many games and trying to track their playstyle over the past 2 games. So yesterday, they played Rek'Sai Ahri in the mid lane, right? They were trying to get as many early things happening as possible. Just look at the state of the lanes. Graves pushed up. Sylas was just pushed up. They burned flash. Bottom lane also pushed up. They're trying to play with 3 lanes of early prio and letting Spica go wherever he wants. So they want to fight all the time.
Just wide enough. Ignite is on. I think he can maybe solo tactical. Zap's not going to land. The Guardian. He walks in to grab a Guardian shield. Gets the heal at the very end. He's still holding flash and baits one of the tower. And that means enough. Tactical decision. Summoner. He plays it on the edge and he gets rewarded.
He likes to play on the limits, he says. That was a big ol' limit because he had to flash back into the turret. Gets Olleh to flash follow, doesn't have fatal damage. The wave is now also in an atrocious spot for Lost. He is able to get the cannon, but it's going to deny a significant amount of minions. Watch this one more time. Tahm Kench Varus generally want the all-ins. We also heard that Olleh is possibly the most aggressive support in the LCS in a player interview yesterday. The exhaust goes down right away, but look at that upfront damage onto Tactical, moving for the Guardian Shield. Absolutely crucial. Saves his heal for when Lost flashes, saves his flash for when Olleh's auto would be lethal, and gets the first blood. 2 moves, 2 Summoner spell choices that if he didn't time exactly then, he's either dead or he doesn't bait the opponent to go in. So huge first blood.
Really hugely done, especially the fact that Ignite has the healing cut on it, 60%. So very important to wait on that heal and not lose almost the entire value while you're still ignited. Knows the limits. Obviously, you got to give credit to Shenyi. Instantly exhaust, run forward, zone out the Jinx. She wasn't part of that fight for a long time. She got 1 flash auto afterwards, and that was when everyone else ran away. So both those players playing it really well. Want to give credit to both where that is due, because I think on both sides for TSM, that was played really, really nicely. 600 gold lead, pretty much right here for TSM as we get the resets of the mid lane. AblazeOlive going to come back soon.
They're going to want to keep the pressure up, though. Shenyi and Spica are hoping to find someone in the jungle. Everything has just been cleared, though, and Shenyi's going to be spotted on a ward. Surely Pridestalker.
He goes in for a bit, but Spica's on the way. It's going to be a 3v2 for a little bit. Spica never part of the fight. Does get spotted. Know what's going on. Jumps over the wall and going to go right away for the dragon. Yeah, I mean, they've got the bot lane pressure. AblazeOlive would walk through control wards to contest, so not going to get to do it.
Yeah, Hex Drake, a nice one to pick early. Ability hits attack speed, going to be very useful for especially the Graves in the top lane. And they're just camped up front in this lane, daring Golden Guardians to fight them.
Trying to deny some minions, though. You can see if Tactical kind of has to play for Qs to do it. Obviously, the jungler maybe doing something else. Nice little knock for Shenyi to make that die a bit faster. Saves about 3 seconds off of Spica's clear. Pretty well done. Gonna keep a close one. TSM with the gold lead and the first dragon. Maybe the sign of things to come. They can find a way to keep improving upon this. Turns out pressure everywhere. Working pretty well. Takeover is down CS right now. Corki is going to be ahead in the lane so far, and that flash coming up in about a minute and a half.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to go for this blue buff invade. If you take a look at the jungle right now and the fact that they have the top lane push, but Spica's actually sticking around to let Takeover clear this because they had a small window to possibly move into this area. They're going to be a little late for the blue buff. Pridestalker gets away with it.
Yep. And back on was basically third full clear is really efficiency focused even on the Lee Sin. No great early ganks as AblazeOlive going to be pushed back by Takeover's salvo of rockets. And indeed, Olive is, I mean, he could try to rocket for the cannon. Nope, sorry. Unfortunately, it was the tower knocking all the way down, so gets 3 cash, loses the rest of the wave, basically. Well done to Takeover. And keep in mind, in the game they played yesterday, TSM had a gold lead up through 15 minutes against FlyQuest. FlyQuest, who's in 3rd place right now, I might add. Like, this new version with Shenyi back and Takeover on is actually punching pretty well against some solid teams.
Especially in the early game. They're playing very aggressive. I think they drafted for early game as well. Early gank mid lane to try and unlock Sylas, which is huge. And now they're going to be looking for Pridestalker.
They're going to get a lot of damage here. Slowed down, finally flashes away, and they're going to get a flash chase. Takeover is in! Kicked back out with a knock-up as well!
Got him!
But he lands the stolen rocket! at Takeover living up to his name.
Oh, they want more. Look at Shenyi going in.
Finds a slow. Spica's on the way. Exhaust a couple of slows. The chompers are really well placed. Could have lost to hold them. Didn't need it for the Tahm Kench. Just in case something else is going on. That is some good trigger discipline. However, look at the turret plate fall and look at the minions going to waste.
Yeah, this is really big for that bottom lane now. Up over 20 minions. 2 plates down. All of that stems from mid-prio, though. The early gank that Spica was able to get mid lane allowed them the return move to then go for the Raptors, which got the kill for Pridestalker. Then there's nothing to stop Spica from moving down through the jungle, which gives them another plate bot. So TSM, very good early game for them. 2,000 gold lead at 9 minutes.
Go onto the wave. And Lobster takes a little bit of poke. I mean, he'll be fine, more or less. They knocked down the rest of it. 18 CS lead already onto lethality pickup here for Tactical. Looks like it's going to be probably the sort of full Eclipse Manamune kind of build. Qs are going to hurt for sure. Can try to match the poke that Corki has. Pridestalker and Olleh down the way towards top side. Keep in mind it's 9 minutes in. Rift Herald has spawned. Ward control belongs to Golden Guardian. Spica going to spot this out right on time. Will it matter, though? I mean, Huni gets the first move. Where is Gnar is going to be the question. Walking up right now from base, maybe to build up the rage and play for it.
It's bot plates for Herald. That's the trade. If TSM moves in to fight, there's a good chance it's a 4v5 because Tactical is actually just full shown on the map taking plates. So TSM cannot contest this.
Can't. Thankfully, lethality, Varus, not the fastest turret killer, but if you can kill minions, you get the extra attack speed, and it's not too bad. Lethality actually does affect towers. They do have armor, at least with plates on, so it gets a little bit out of that one. And gonna keep trying now as Licorice fights up against Huni, dodges most of the skill shots and puts him low. Can we find the dive? Looks like no. Olleh, not level 6, no play to be had, but they are gonna zone him off the tower, so maybe some plates back this way for Golden Guardians. Pridestalker is gonna take the whole wave from his top laner and from Lost. Honestly, like,
we don't see this that often, but it's a good move. They were losing the lane so badly, they would lose every 2v2. The bottom side of their map was out of control. They need to get farm onto Lost, so yeah, just swap. And they get the Rift Herald on the way. They're actually competing for first turret here. It's going to be probably still going over to TSM, but getting the trade either way is pretty big. Tactical's got to hit that quick.
Oh, Shenyi dropped damage. First turret went to Lee Sin. Shenyi walked away from 150 gold changing hands. I know he tried to map it out, but he was off by 2 auto attacks.
Yeah, so the idea is if he walks away, he might be giving more gold to Tactical and also getting some space on the map. Didn't time it right. They lose first turret, and the lane swap pays off in a big way for Golden Guardians.
Really huge, but it is still TSM up 1,700 gold. Keep in mind, yeah, both these teams got 5 plates. Both these teams got the tower. Only 150 bonus to Golden Guardians is, I mean, pretty pale when you compare to the fact that there's CS leads everywhere. There's a kill lead on the squad, so TSM really striking hard in the early game.
Yeah, and about 20 seconds to go on this next Drake. See if this is just conceded over to TSM because Golden Guardians is fairly behind. They do have Mythic on Lost, but it does look like TSM's in pretty good position.
Yeah, I'm a fan of hitting Mythic. I know missing boots sometimes can really hurt, but kind of getting to that spike as soon as possible I think is very, very valuable. Also, he may just have footwear here and can't buy boots until it loads up in inventory in 25 seconds. Yeah. Pretty common for AD carries because just getting your damage spikes ASAP is actually pretty worthwhile.
He does not have free boots. Okay. He's got biscuits and cosmic.
All right, so yeah, he is going to be waiting to get on for the rest of it then. He'll have to buy boots later, but even still, I think he's a defensible build. Delaying on boots, just getting the damage. But second dragon goes cleanly over to TSM. They still have control of the bottom side. Sylas moves down to that one. The wave's already pushed. We know it's going to be very easy for a spell-based Varus to get wave control. Fully charge a Q, 1 auto per minion, knocks on the whole wave. You can't contest it too easily. If you try, you might lose 200 health on a poke. And Takeover, by the way, Sylas, heavily favored into Gnar. Mini Gnar is quite squishy. However, with Hullbreaker, has enough MR to survive.
True. Gnar ult is also so amazing for Sylas to take. There are very, very good ultimates for the Sylas pick. Want to point that out. We got a river fight.
We got a river fight. Olleh going to be rooted in place. Thankfully, as Aftershock doesn't take too much damage. What about round 2? He meant to disengage in all places. Ulti traded back and forth. Doesn't mean a ton.
I mean, Golden Guardians had the numbers there, so even though they got jumped on, TSM couldn't follow up. Huni actually wasted a little bit of time running down for potential fight and then running back. I really want to pay attention to this game about how TSM plays from this point. 1, they haven't been in this point very often, and 2, when they've been behind in the mid game, things have gone very poorly. So really pay attention to how Takeover plays side lane. It's new for him and this new team. And then also how well Tactical and Shenyi can get push mid and then make something happen in the river. That was their first attempt. They didn't really get much, but I think they're going to be looking for a lot more.
Here we go. Plates dropping in 50 seconds. Will they get any damage really done other than the poke right here? Olleh, nope, it's on the lost on a half HP, and not a lot sustained yet in this champion. Doesn't seem to have Legend Bloodlines. That will stick for a while. Huni does push in, looks for plate number 2. I think he might have just gotten it. He's pretty solid here, but they're going to catch Shenyi going for wards without any help right now, so rooted in place, not able to flash, a kick flash just to be safe, and Lost gets the 300 gold.
That's exactly what you don't want to see. They had a pushed up top lane and a pushed up bot lane, so they, in theory, they should have setup for any move that is made in that jungle, but Shenyi is 1,500 units from the nearest teammate, gets CC locked, doesn't flash, doesn't W, and Golden Guardians repel the push. Now, everything on TSM has to reset. Graves and Tactical, sure they needed the shop anyway, but they're going to lose that map pressure and reestablish it on the next turn.
Takeover just gets the farm down here, walks over to the lane, and gets a little bit of gold, but at least TSM retained that 2-turret lead. They retain that 300 gold advantage. They are still overall winning in this one, but we'll wait to see if these kind of missteps keep happening. TSM had a lead about exactly this big against FlyQuest at this point in time, and it slipped away as well. If Golden Guardians can play the mid game as well, or if TSM fumble as much as yesterday, we might see the same story here. TSM make it to 1-10, but so far, honestly, I've got faith in the fact they're playing a pretty good game right now, and as they change things around, try to find a roster that works, this is the one that has, eye test, looked the best of the versions of TSM so far.
Yeah, they've given themselves an opportunity to win. And for Golden Guardians, it's about holding out a little bit, let Corki get more of his items, let's Jinx scale up. And honestly, the early game assault has been fairly well neutralized by them. I do want to also call out Golden Guardians. They've had a very good year based on preseason expectations. I think most of their performances would make me think they should be better than 5-5, but here's a pick in the river. They got Spica.
First start to get the ulti across. No one is knocked back by it, but they got to get back into the circle, though. Olleh gonna run out of health, run a stopwatch, and there's the ulti for Shenyi. Puts him right back forward. Olleh likely to die, and a Nautilus although stolen means the fight gets to continue. 1-0 so far. When's the second coming up? Licorice right now gets to run away. Good job by Spica and Shenyi. They take basically no damage. They get one back.
Okay, so the aggressor is punished in this case. Olleh now no stopwatch and no flash, really going to hurt his ability to play aggressive from here on out. And the setup is again there for TSM as they push mid.
Gonna happen. Keep in mind, Nautilus is walking out from base right now. Spica ultless, same for the Tahm Kench, makes it a little bit tough. I mean, he does still have flash, but it is tougher to Xin Zhao
Mega
fight. Yeah, and Mega Gnar coming up, that's actually a pretty big deal. Xin Zhao is not tanky without the ulti. That's such a big deal, so Licorice can buy a lot of space here. Sweeper spots the fact that Olleh's coming. They're going to find the root. They force the flash out. They don't quite get the rest. That slow could have been a lot, but it looks like Second Herald will go to Golden Guardians, but it's going to be TSM pushing through on mid. Can they get the entire tower? That's going to be a good question to ask because Lee Sin and Corki are still far away. They're staying around. They're going to get the demolish. I think almost going through. Gnar ult taken. Huni steps up for one more auto turret, nearly dead in mid.
Yeah, this will be really interesting. TSM has positioning in River, but Golden Guardians will probably drop Herald as soon as TSM move for that Dragon. But on the flip side, Golden Guardians really wants to be able to stop this next Dragon. Corki's recalling. Think he has package. Yeah, there's the sound effect, and they get a lot of damage on a Tactical.
Okay, Tactical takes the Lee Sin Q, flash the way, gets his way as far as it can, but the rocket lands, and Pridestalker will live! Oh no! The flash was not burned to dodge the Q, he pulls him in, and that is map control. Golden Guardians summon the Herald from mid, they're gonna walk down to the bottom river.
Disaster there for TSM. Yes, the Herald drops and won't hit the turret, but Golden Guardians will stop TSM from reaching soul point.
When he can try. It's a good attempt. Ult from far away. If Pridestalker greeds, tries to hold his smite, there's always a chance. Not gonna happen there. Mid lane cleared, and one kill on the board, one Dragon going back over. Golden Guardians holding on to the mid game.
Going back to that fight in the mid lane, it actually looked to me like Tactical might have stopped the Lee Sin damage. The timing on that is like a couple frames. He just takes way too much damage up front.
He's someone who heals the hits, that's what it was.
Okay, yeah. So he does take the damage from the Q, and then not enough clearance between him and Shenyi to actually block the Jinx ult.
Yep, and you wanted to bait it, right? It was, okay, I'll ult as you come in, I'll heal flash back to safety, let's knock him down, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough damage, right? It was more or less a full health Lee Sin, and able to walk back away from the turret, so nice attempt, but obviously, yeah, the skill shots landed. And Tactical, despite his summoners, gets the ulti on from Lost, and the gold still remains pretty flat, though. Despite the kills back and forth, it is still a quite close game. 2K gold, 1 dragon lead. TSM by the scoreboard are ahead right now.
By the scoreboard, but based on the momentum of the game, I would say Golden Guardians is starting to get stronger. Muramana also a massive transform there for AblazeOlive's Corki. Spica's got to watch out.
That's a lot of damage. Gets the ulti across. How much time can he buy, though? Because they're running right back in. Xin kicks, follows the Q, and a knockout of Tactical with no way to save. Flashes in for the Gorge Drinker, but they're still going to get back to safety. They're going to get Tactical. How about the rest, though? Shenyi slowed. Blast Plant's not in the right spot. Sidesteps the rocket, but the team fight continues. They can't get the kill just yet, but is it enough as Huni's in for 2? Doing pretty well. Flashing to safety. Sidesteps as the Sonic Wave misses, but they're still going to get the 3rd kill. 4th kill, +2 to Golden Guardians.
Communication, coordination, whatever you want to call it, Golden Guardians has it this game. They consistently are finding isolated members of TSM to start off these fights and coming out on top.
Aggressive Olleh has been setting up every single one of these, and Lost has been there to knock it down. Now 3-0-2, well on his way to his 2nd item.
Again, just kind of look at the map state right here. There's a Sylas fully shown on the map up top. No one on Golden Guardians is showing, so that's a very dangerous spot to be in. Yes, TSM can collapse afterwards, but it's very late. When they move in, that's when Golden Guardians has actually saved their cooldown so they can obliterate Tactical off the start of the fight. They get the teleport in from Gnar to chase further into the corridor, and an actually incredible Xin kick from Takeover is not enough to salvage the fight as they still fall and have the disadvantage overall in the fight.
I'm impressed by actually Lost having the understanding that a Xin kick was going towards him. I don't know what kind of mindset you're in that you're like, oh, by the way, Sylas might kick my teammates in. Hold on, a fight going on right now, though. Shenyi kicked to safety, thankfully. Could not find the rest of it. But, I mean, right, like, okay, when you're in Champs League, you're like, all right, they have Xin. Good to know. I'll make sure I'm watching for the kick flash play. Like, we're in a team fight. Sylas is just hitting buttons. That's Nautilus flying towards my head. I got to flash away. Because Graves would have followed that one up, right? So that is impressive by Lost to understand what was happening when there's 10 possible ults to play around.
Very true. AD carry's hard, man.
Yeah.
We got some good AD carries.
Yeah. Lost him pretty well. 3-0-2. Here we go. Licorice. Oh, he's not going to get the scoop back. Good ult, I think, by Huni. Builds that last bit of distance. Doesn't get caught out. And still able to play the sideline pretty well and hold breaker up 30 CS.
Okay, TSM still trying to break this mid turret. They have Sylas roaming down. They could probably be able to get it on this wave. Everyone on TSM is first move to mid here. This is actually a good timer for them.
What else is going to happen? Pretty good damage. It's going to be bad for Olleh. Trying to stay up. Gets the aftershock on. The front line for Spica. 3, 2, 1. Spitted back out. But now, is there another team fight? Rocket is up for Jinx, but no one's low enough to die to it. Holds on to the cooldown.
That was a good move from TSM. Something they haven't been able to do in the past 8 or so minutes. The reason that one worked, just to go over some basics, when your side lanes push up the waves, they generally get what's called a turn, which will used oftentimes to run mid lane, and you want to fight when you have the numbers advantage. But what's happened so many times in this game is TSM is moving when it's not their turn. They'll have a jungler in the river when a laner is showing on wave. They're just not in sync, but Golden Guardians is. So even though Golden Guardians doesn't have the waves pushed, they're still not getting caught on any of their turns, which is how they're able to come back in this game.
It feels like that's, a standard mid-level macro play, right? Of just, hey, this is the kind of coaching you want to drill into players and get a good set of fundamentals where, the idea of playing turns and considering minion waves as like a turn-based situation instead of a real-time situation, like, even I know that one, right? Like, that's just kind of how the game works. Every 3 seconds, a new wave shows up.
It's very easy to state. It is much harder to do in-game when you're trying to track all these other things and possibly have a lot of chaos in communication. But that is what TSM is faltering on. That's why they've lost this league.
That is the beauty of League of Legends, is you can mention the macro concepts, and again, I agree with you, and then everything else changes. Hey, who's got a power spike? Hey, what effects coming up? Hey, who's scary? Who could be in a brush? That all matters, right? And it adds texture to every one of these decisions. Tahm Kench showing up. Here we go, fighting for the 4th dragon of the game. Would be 2-2, or it could be so for TSM. Olleh takes some poke, but he's going to be all right. Here's the dive in for Spica. Again, has the ulti, forcing Olleh away, and the team is split up. This is going to be really dangerous. AblazeOlive has a Valkyrie backwards and nearly dies, sidesteps the snipe. That could have been a kill. If it was W empowered, that might have been a death on the Corki.
Takeover has a really good ultimate right now with Gnar. He might want to try a flake around the sides. Golden Guardians will see it though.
Licorice Mega has flash. He can get a huge team fight start. Tahm Kench ult is up to save. Takeover now on a ward. Can he play around it? 2K health on the Drake. Kick back, smite stolen. Well done, 2-2. Mega Gnar on to 3. Here comes the package. A big play. Turns in 1. But how about the rest? Valk back for safety. Traded back on a Gnar. But Sylas dives in and get a second one up. And it's TSM winning the team fight.
What a fight so far. They're still chasing.
They're pushing in. Now Olleh gonna be stunned up. The dive right back in for Lee Sin's going to fall. And TSM get their revenge. 4 kills. A push in for Huni. This should be enough. The chompers won't be enough. Will be slowed. Will be killed. And ace. TSM may lose the dragon, but they win the map, and they're going for Baron.
What a swing right there. I have to see that fight again because it looked like the package actually pushed half of TSM over the wall.
Yeah.
That's an ace, that's a Baron, but let's watch this fight one more time. Tight timing, teleport with package, they're gonna flip the dragon and go. The smite is there, but it doesn't impact the fight. Let's watch this. So Licorice bashes him against a wall, and then the package has a small displacement on it. It hits 2 of them
Rocket
over
would
the wall.
have killed them all. Like, that
Wow.
would have been a triple straight up almost. I think, you know, Xin Zhao would have lived, but
If it's a thicker part of the wall, they don't move over, then they're literally trapped on the package until they die. But it pushes 2 of them to safety and makes them inaccessible.
Wow.
The Golden Guardians. That's a game-changing move right there.
that's unfortunate, but it's an anti-synergy at that small
Wow.
part of the map. Couple of small things could have changed. That fight does look different, but at the end of the day, it is TSM 4,000 gold lead trying to stop the streak. It has been a rough road for TSM, 5 in a row. Making roster drops. Can we find a roster that works? Can we find something that goes for it? And now against the 5th place Golden Guardians, TSM on the precipice of finding the 2nd win.
Really big Baron power play right here. Sylas is at a huge power point in this game. 2 more levels, so he'll be level 16 with 3 items. That's when he really wants to try and take over. But I think they have to make this Baron count. TSM hasn't been good at setting up their own plays, but when they have the Baron here, that gives them easier wave push, and they gotta find a way to get a large amount of gold out of this Baron.
Just the 1K though. For now, it's, you know, they grab the Baron, the recall, a couple of those get reset. That's, you know, some standing money kind of gets pushed back. It's 4K. Kind of just chilling. When they can get the resolution to grow this one a bit more. Sylas on the bottom side is a good split pusher. I feel like he should be strong in either one of those matchups, so can spend a lot of time down there, then come back up, steal a good ulti, start the team fight. Nautilus, you know, Lee Sin, Gnar, all of them pretty solid ults to steal.
It's actually pretty risky to do 1-3-1. A lot of teams do it because you can get a lot of gold here, but if anyone gets caught out, they're not going to be able to collapse in time for a fight. So Spica.
Jumped on, CC'd, can't ulti, they kick him away. That was beautiful, that was necessary. Pridestalker gets him away from the Tahm Kench, and that means 2 kills. He can jump back, but it should still be 1 picked up. The shields give him some time, but this still got to go over as it does. Lost on kill number 4. That was so clutch. Micro decisions. Pridestalker, that kick was perfect.
And it is smart of Golden Guardians to set up traps. No one was currently threatening a turret for TSM, but everyone was shown on the map. So that's a moment for Spica where he can't go there alone. He needs to take either a safer route where a laner can hover for him, or you need to wait until Golden Guardian shows to defend a wave. Because they had the 1-3-1 on the side, so either Huni gets to the turret or Takeover gets to the turret, then you can take control of the jungle. But as has happened multiple times this game, TSM is just not connected. So they're consistently getting picked out by Golden Guardians.
And it felt like this was one of those micro things where, like, look, we've got a Xin Zhao ultimate, we've got a Tahm Kench, like Shenyi was on the screen. I can see the call, like, well, if they're there, it's okay.
Yeah, Kench.
We'll press R and live. And so I can understand that decision, right? Like, there are the elements that say, this was normally a bad play, but our elements of the team comp make it acceptable, and yet out-executed, right? Pridestalker kicked him away from the Tahm Kench in time. That angle's wrong, it looks a lot worse, and now Licorice in 1v2 needs to get Mega, jumps over very, very low, has the ulti. No, he was knocked up before he could cast a spell. The CC layers, well, TSM get one back.
Very critical kill there because the death timer is super close to overlapping with the Cloud Drake. So now TSM can try and set up the mid lane move and try and put themselves on soul points, something they have been trying to get for the last 10 minutes of the game. Crucial pick there onto Licorice.
Important to note that it's going to be just 5 minutes every single time. The flash TP were used more or less for the dragon. Last time the flash is going to be the same cooldown as the dragon comes up this time. Obviously you still have to press the buttons and get there in time, so a pretty easy one to track for TSM. They should know they have a decent amount of control right now as bot wave will indeed be pushed in. And now they try to get rid of some of the wards and ensure that they can own all of this. Shenyi stays near tactical so he can't be attacked. This is going to be a kill. Mid lane tier 2 to drop. Spica pretty healthy. Rockets, you get a guardian down, but most of this can be sustained back up.
Yeah, but look at the control they have in the jungle right now. So no vision for Golden Guardians because there's a control ward there. There's a control ward here. There's a control ward there. There's just not a way for Golden Guardians to get in. So the kill onto Licorice gave TSM the numbers advantage to move into the jungle there and pick up this Cloud Drake uncontested.
Well done. There you go. TSM getting the right things done. They had pushed pretty aggressively to own this bottom side of the map. This time around it sticks. The vision control says no thank you. And of course, Golden Guardians have to fight for it because that the smite went for Pridestalker last time, kicking him out of the pit. So they get to buy that 5 extra minutes here. But TSM on the cusp of a Cloud Soul. 33 minutes, gonna be the timer on that one. Looking towards the top side. Huni will be slowed up by a loss. It's gonna be hard to win that one as Jinx. Doesn't get much done.
Man, these fights are going to be so clutch. Like, look for Olleh to try and find picks as he's been able to get consistently this game, but we really have to watch Takeover in these fights. Like, the Sylas with a Gnar ultimate can be such a game changer. It's kind of more potent than the Gnar ultimate, like the Sylas with the Gnar ultimate. So if he's able to be there for a fight, Golden Guardians has to be careful, which is, I think, why they're making an aggressive move as Sylas has shown on a wave elsewhere on the map.
Nice shot, Huni. Playing for the maximum, steals away. A drop, hook is in though. This is a very targetable Graves. Like, doesn't have good escape tools, ult's already down. Has a flash as he need it though. Block of shield comes in, gets slowed up, and that's gonna be the kill picked up. Give it to the right target, goes to Corki, not too bad. But, other side of the map, Takeover has an 800 gold tower to attack. And who's gonna defend it?
Nobody.
Cash positive TSM. If nothing else happens, it's a good death.
True, and there are actually no objectives available currently. Baron will be up in 20 seconds, but Golden Guardians does need to respond to the Sylas bot lane before they can do something, but they're going to have this small window here where they can get vision control in the river and then look to set up a trap when TSM checks.
They're right for it. Huni still dead, and he'll be dead for 22 seconds plus the TP channel. If it's a rush, they're going for it here. Jinx is on a full 3 items, can burn it down, and AblazeOlive has package. Lee Sin kick still up. This is a really good look. I think Golden Guardians should be favored to win the Baron here. Package them down to slow them down. It is hard to get over this one. Spica puts the ulti on. He wants to find his way in. W, I believe, missed the Baron. Pridestalker keeps waiting around. Tahm Kench picks him up, spits him out. Health bar is low. TP in now for the Graves. And they gotta call the bluff. They've gotta get out. Licorice is low. They can chase him, maybe. Big damage. Shenyi flashes in. Doesn't find it. But how about the rest? Here's the Nautilus ulti towards the backside. Takeover has it. Jumping in. It's a Zhonya's hourglass. It's gonna buy some time. A second one burned now as well. Takeover still wants to fight a Pridestalker. Doesn't land the stun. 1 for 1 so far. Graves down for the Nautilus. Speaking of ulti though as well. And careful because Gnar is low. Lee Sin is low, but Tactical misses the arrow. It's a 1-1.
This is not over. Takeover wants something. He's a level 16 Sylas, but not enough health.
No, I think he's out of range.
I guess it's over.
But you run slower while channeling it, so doesn't quite estimate it properly. Turns out it is just the 1 for 1. GP forced out of Huni. Summoners down everywhere.
Oh, that was so tense. Tactical flashed forward to try and get the execute at the end, which would have given them Baron. It misses, and it ends up being a 1 for 1. But yeah, let's watch this one more time. So Spica, like, ults to try and brute force through the package damage, but just gets chunked for the majority of his health. Already takes half.
He walks in.
Yeah, so basically, if Spica was... If AblazeOlive didn't walk inside the Zen ultimate, the package wouldn't have done damage, but he actually walks next to him and stopwatches to nearly chunk him out. But then they ended up taking enough damage that Huni's teleport inside the Baron can't be punished, and now it's just chaos. It's like a temporary 2v5 because Shenyi and Spica are so low. Neither of Takeover or Huni die because of stopwatch usage and Tactical finally getting here. A mistimed E, like just craziness happened in that fight, and we're right back at Baron for another setup.
2,000 to go. Dragon Soul in 115 for TSM if they get it. Mega Gnar back up right now. Is this the play? They find a slow, but you don't really want to go for Xin Zhao. Slowed up yet again. Jumps back to the wave. He'll heal back up, no problem. Mega Gnar timing out. Once again, Golden Guardian's going to be on a small power trough.
And the Corki and Jinx are starting to get very strong.
Ooh.
So TSM might need some good poke before a fight to win it.
Dive on in, double stun. They can just kill Shenyi. They're going to try to do so. Pridestalker gets to kick out the Varus, but a root comes in, and they get 2 so far. TSM are on this fight right now. Olleh drops as well. TSM may finally stop the losing streak. 4 are dead. AblazeOlive can do nothing, and TSM are back today.
The Huni Graves flank was massive in that fight. They're going to pick up their 2nd Baron of the game, and looking at the death timers, they can probably pick up the Cloud Soul as well.
You see a couple of resets to go there right away, but in the meantime, they'll take the maximum. I mean, they can kind of split it up appropriately, right? I feel like they can knock down this turret, they can push the waves in out through mid, and then everyone can kind of collapse together in case they respawn and try. In case the Blade Vols TPs, you're there with items and health bars.
Let's watch this one more time. Again, Olleh wants to make something happen while they have the Mega Gnar up. So moves over. They see Takeover on mid, so they think, hey, we have a window. If they step up, let's go. And there's...
And he anchors into the Tahm Kench, then ults the back line.
Yeah,
and Leeson tries, right?
But then watch
Pridestalker,
all the
ward hop.
cooldowns are down, and he can just burst Lost.
And Pridestalker sadly has no way to actually get behind the champion, right? He ward hops in, but doesn't have flash, so he can never kick tactical. And though he kicks him out, just kind of gets killed, and the rest of his team, yeah, I mean, they burned the initial cooldowns on the Tahm Kench, but Leeson didn't actually help kill him, so they didn't finish the first one, and Shenyi got to play the rest of his kit, and you can see, I think he thought he had flash. Because you don't ward hop to kick a poke Varus backwards if you don't have flash, because what do you do with that?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that call. That's a big mistake there from Pridestalker and Golden Guardian. So Baron up, death cap completed onto Takeover. He's a huge level 18 Sylas right now. And TSM wants this to be the final push.
Here we go. Pushing down the waves now. This is going to be a turret under fire. Just a little bit. Huni, of course, is somewhat short range. Now it's going to be a risk, but Takeover feels very safe down here. And that's one down. Takes Corki rockets. Extra poke for the team. Varus, Sylas. I like it. It's pretty cute. And allows them to push people down. Olleh going to take a couple of shots. Puts the shield on a bit late. Second one's going to miss. Third one's going to land. And keep going for a little bit more. Bottom turret now dead as well. Huni got some alone time. Licorice terribly low. Has to walk away, get his health bar back up, and then hope for a Mega Gnar play. Devil inhibitor down. TSM ready to keep going. 3,700 on the Red Bull Baron power play, and they're looking to maybe make that the Nexus over the top. Cloud Soul already claimed as well. They run fast.
Tactical's a little low. He just landed some big poke onto Lost, but if someone on Golden Guardians can reach him with a missile, that might be their chance, because if not, they're just going to sit here and get more damage. They got another chuck on him, though.
Tried another one. I like that. The Valkyrie decides how to find the target, but now Tactical doesn't have good sustain. Can they get the rest of it? Gets the someone to heal across. The sun's going to land, but first chomped up by Shenyi, and now the ulti in front for Spica. No one's going to die except for Licorice. Chop down. Kill 2. Kill 3. TSM are back, fighting for their lives, and they will knock this one down. AblazeOlive finds the poke, cannot yet get the kill, but it's going to be the Nexus. That one cannot run away. That one cannot kite. And TSM from 1-9 will find their second win. They hope this roster works. The poke won't land, but the Nexus will still drop. There we go. The KDA is added 2, and TSM double their wins.
2-9 is not great, but it's a hell of a lot better than 1-10.
Yeah.
So TSM has got to be fairly pleased with their ability to take this win. They drafted a very aggressive early comp. 3 lanes of prio is the way it ended up playing out, and they still have to win a bunch of close team fights. You can see Licorice there knows this was a close one. They do not want to drop games like this in their chase for playoffs, but that's a pretty banger game to end the week.
That is a banger game. And we were just singing Golden Guardians' praises. I think they are still a very good team.
Yeah.
And this to me more is, this is a measuring stick that TSM are good. This isn't XD, Golden Guardians, Inted, haha, that's TSM. This is the new roster. This is Shenyi back in after some more practice, right, in the academy. This is Takeover coming in. He's looked good both these games. In a sample size of 1, he had like a bunch of really good laning stats. Like, well, it's one game, we'll wait. But this is actually a much better looking squad. They nearly won against 3rd place FlyQuest. They did win against 5th place Golden Guardians. If this is their look, this is a playoff caliber team who just needs to make up the wins to get there.
You have very rosy glasses right now.
Yes,
but
I do.
I'm sure a lot of people appreciate the optimism. It is a huge step forward for them based on how much negative noise has been around the team. I completely agree on that. I will say they've played very aggressive early games. So I'll look to see if that can continue, and then they need to clean up really just their ability to stay connected throughout the rest of the game, because that's where Golden Guardians was catching them.
Yep.
Right? Time and time again, Golden Guardians was seeing where the moves could be and getting a lot of kills to extend this game. Because based off what happened early, TSM could have possibly run away with it, but we ended up having that very close 35-minute slugfest.
Yeah, and how cool is it, by the way, that Takeover is one of the big players here? Like his career started in the Chilean version of a like a not LDO, the European sub-leagues, right?
Yeah.
It's the Chilean league that goes into LLA if you do really well and you play the qualifiers, right? From there, he was scouted into TSM Academy. Yeah. Plays there for a year. Now he's 1-1 in the LCS, right? Bringing up a 10th place team is like, we went from really poor to 50-50. Like, that is awesome, right?
Yeah, there's very few players who've played mid lane for this team.
Yeah.
Reginald, Bjergsen, Power of Evil,
Yeah.
and then Kaido Takeover. There's only 5 in like 12 years of TSM.
Yeah.
So it's odd circumstances, but like, oh yeah, I'm playing mid for TSM.
Yeah.
Can be a lot of pressure to come into, and I think he's done pretty well for his first week.
Yeah, totally agree. It's been really cool to see, and that's wonderful. I want to see more of him. I'll be honest, I like Kaido as well. Like, I want to see him more, maybe with some more reps down the line. I think he's like got a really good personality. So I do think TSM have found some really good pieces. For how much these lanes have been turning around, like I thought Shenyi Tactical played well together. Like the level like 3 all in, I think they both played that really appropriately. Tactical played it really aggro, yes, but like everyone made the right choices in those fights. Like these are good players. To your point, it's not coming together in the mid game. There are those gaps, and yeah, it's a team who switched players around a couple of times, right? It's a team with players from 4 different countries, 5 different countries even. Yeah, sorry, that's going to take some time sometimes, right? So if this is the trajectory, then, you know, is it like the 4 and 5 run? Is it, 6 wins, maybe we hit playoffs? I don't know, but that's what it kind of looks like here. I do have the rose-tinted glasses, though. I think TSM looks like a playoff caliber team, and it's about making up the wins, which is tough.
Yeah, I mean, when we're looking at the TSM history, 9-9, right? The win streak needs to continue if they want a chance of making playoffs realistically. So huge road ahead, but going into the weekend, going into the next week with a win, really helps practice for the week following.
Really helps practice for the week following. So we are joining Licorice and Spica for our Verizon post-game interview.